Where Lamara stands there kind of mid-syringe. She's got the sleeve up on the guy.
What are you doing?
I am administering a shot to the captain here to assure that he doesn't catch the disease that's going around. This is going to sting a little. And he goes, oh, yeah, I'm not feeling so good. I'm just going to lay down for a second. And Lamar goes, it's working.
Yeah, and now what? Okay, tell him to log in so that you can authenticate that he got his vaccine.
Captain, this is your doctor speaking. I'm going to need to fingerprint you to assure that we have a full medical record on file.
All military personnel, please make your way to your vessels. We have T-minus 5 hours and counting to all military vessels leaving for Zalos. Please find your destinations and go into hibernation sleep.
Tal comes over the intercom. We're going to ride the wake. If we jump in line, then they'll know somebody came in. If we ride the wake, then they won't.
It's a harder
What do
roll.
you say, Captain?
But she furiously clicks buttons and double checks parameters and presses a large purple button. Then the lights in the cabin all turn red as she now has her warning to get in her cryo chamber. Her course is set and there's nothing left to do. She kisses her hand and puts it on the sigil that Alia said, I believe in you, friend, and gets in her cryo chamber.
And we hear it once again as yours closes.
Hibernation activated.
The countdown begins. 9, 8. And they begin trying to stop, but there's nothing that they can do. 5, 4, 3, as the portal jump begins. 1. And it sucks the first ship through. And because you're so close, it rips the Defiant through to the other side. And as the ship comes to, and of course, Tal's cryo chamber opens up first. Tal, you're flung from your cryo chamber, your upright one, because the ship is rattling as if it is under some kind of turbulence, but it is not turbulence because off in the distance you hear an explosion. You have basically entered a war zone because that is what Zalos is. And the comms, there is panic and static and people screaming and commands being given by the portal station as the new military ships are entering the space.
Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here for another episode of Void. And before we jump into things, as always, if you like what we do here and you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is over on Patreon. Link for that down below. While you're down there, hit that Discord link. Join us in the Discord. Be a part of the community. Be a part of the conversation. And as always, in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is whenever that bar fills, Dot gets to do what the hell she wants to us. It's almost always terrible. And two, every single dollar that goes into that goes back to these wonderful, amazing faces that you see here before you. So, without further ado, we'll transition to Dot for Space Mouth Noises, the game.
The noises?
Space mouth noises.
The game.
That's the new TTRPG we're
The
playing.
Yeah.
the game.
It's just all Dot just making noises.
This is
every
actually
step
just-
he
This is actually a
Like
surprise
that one.
announcement, guys. We're
I feel
all
like they
working
need to
on.
pay more for that.
Yeah, well, what's
That
happening?
seems like a lot of corruption bars.
We're working on a TTRPG secretly behind the scenes. This is the big announcement. It's called Space Mouth Noises, the game, and coming to shelves
and
near
you
you.
can literally, the whole purpose is that you are not allowed to do anything but make a noise with your mouth.
That's how you roll the dice.
That's how
It's
you roll
like
the
the
dice.
drinking game Waterfall, but with mouth noises.
Oh my god, I'm here for
Yeah,
every bit
like
of
everyone's
this.
gonna be like, "Well, you make it, but with noises."
Yeah, basically it's Coriolis ASMR.
Love it.
Oh, that
Brought
sounds
to you by
funny.
the crew of the Defiant,
Mhm.
who has
No,
found
just Dot.
themselves in a beep type situation, speaking of mouth noises, because they showed up in Zalos after riding the wake, an adapt decision by the captain, and ended up being sucked right through the portal into, the front line of the Zalos war that is kind of happening right now. Unfortunately, due to unexpected turbulence, the power and possibly a corruption bar was taken from the Defiant, and only in time for just the captain to wake. The power sounds down. Wait. As you are flung from, of course, your pod, your cryopod, trying to kind of break through maybe a haze, and you hear the power go down. Emergency light over the bridge begins flashing. Another off in the distance.
Al has a few moments there when she just stands completely still in panic. Because there's a lot going on, and if her ship happens to be hit by pure chance, there we go. And also there's no one to ask for help right now. Not even on board.
And you know what? You've done this a lot. You would know the cryopods don't function
Yeah.
with oxygen or, say, any life-sustaining support when there's no power.
So first thing she does is immediately go to where the power grid is and to see if she can actually fix it herself.
Okay. There would be like a backup generator that maybe ran the oh my god, what's her name? Sally, the onboard AI. And yeah, you smash the button and bring up the single HUD in this dark ship. What we're gonna need, well, okay, you know what? Sally comes to you, and she says,
emergency power activated.
Okay. All right. That works. Okay. Next, we need to get power to the crowd chambers, see if I can get those open. So yeah, whatever I need to do for that.
Currently, the ship is running at 20% power. It will require at least 40% before I can reroute auxiliary power to the cryopods.
Yeah. Where's the problem?
Diagnostic shows that one end of the ship has been damaged by a large explosion, possibly a lodging of debris.
Do I have to go outside to fix it?
No, but it is a tight space.
Luckily, I'm short. Tal will go to wherever the space is and try to physically fix the problem.
okay, you run down there and begin suiting up. It's dark. You probably have like a single flashlight, or you're using those like glow sticks, because that's cool. That you can kind of toss around to light. If you pass by one of the windows, you can look outside and see the two sons of Zalos, literally, in this system, and in it the silhouettes dotting the skyline of the multiple warships and the flashes on the horizon like dying stars. And you suit up and you make your way down, and you hear Sally once more.
You're almost there, Captain. It seems to be somewhere near the loading dock.
All right. Just looking everywhere for the problem.
When you come down, you see
When you come down, you see that the near the loading dock, where some of the major like cabling running through to what is in essence the reactor have been cut in half by a large sheet of metal that has like jammed itself into the ship. Due to the vacuum of space and things like that, it seems to be rather lodged and stuck, but it is huge. It's like somebody slung it and it into the side of the ship.
Okay, so I'm going to attempt to somehow, either depending on what materials I have around me, either bend or cut it out of the way and then reconnect those wires together.
Okay, Tao, the time is running short, of course.
Or see
let's
if I
get-
can, oh, you know what?
roll.
If I don't know, depending on where everything is in the shape, what materials I have at my disposal, maybe even just rerouting it around that metal piece, because we don't have time to do that.
Okay, let's actually get a roll and see if you can figure out what the best option here is and if you can actually do it, if you're capable of it. So I gotta find my character. Sorry, I was looking at the levels of the Defiant, so I knew where I was at. Okay, Sal, this is an interesting one for you. I would say a science roll could be made.
How about a
Do you have-
technology roll?
I'll take a technology roll. Okay, let's see if you can figure out how to fix it via tech, which would be different than say using science. Did it roll through?
Two times a
Hey!
success.
All right. Okay. Technology. So you have a large welding suit basically on board this ship. It comes as kind of standard in the mechanics area that is kept. And so anyways, you go down there and you're able to suit up and you come in with this like kind of looks like an astronaut suit, but it's got like welding gear on the end. So you can do large mech scale, underwater, in space, so forth and so on. And the best thing that you can do is seal this off and fix the cables. Break it away and fix the cables. And so we watch as Tao works vigorously. It is a limited success, so it takes you a little more time. Usually Tamir does this, right?
I know how, but I'm not that great at it.
But yeah, this isn't usually your thing. And maybe even at one point you hear Sally in your ears once more, reminding you that time is running short. And you begin sealing it off. You break off the piece on the inside, and you begin hand putting all of the wires back together, binding them with space tape and various like anything that you can do to match them. And slowly but surely you hear the as things begin powering back on. Emergency light runners come in. You hear Sally come over.
Captain, I have enough power to open the cryopods, but it will leave us at 20% power for an extended period of time after.
I need my crew.
As you command, opening cryopods.
And the lights that had kind of come on back down. But the rest of the crew, the brothers, Alia and Lamara, all wake from cryo sleep. When you all come to, the Defiant is dark. The only light is coming from low blue light inside of each of your sleeping pods.
There's also glow sticks cracked in various colors throughout the spaces that Tal's been. There might be one in a weird place in a hall, because as she passed, she just threw one so that she could find things later.
Something's wrong, obviously.
Do we So we're like waking up, so we're not like super aware of most of this, right? Like it's just like the red.
All you
red
do is wake up to
klaxons.
a dark Defiant
Okay.
with glow sticks on the ground. Something's wrong.
Are there like the emergency light klaxons going, like and the sirens going,
Um,
or is it just like
No
completely dead in the
sirens.
water?
No sirens. It feels like there's no engine running. You hear nothing. It's like dead space. The only thing that you see are glow sticks and a few the bad lights, the yellow ones that just flash. No runners, no nothing. And as soon as you're all out of your pods, those go dark.
Captain, are you okay? What's going on?
Are you
Wait,
doing
does
that
the
over
intercom work?
comms?
Yeah.
No comms. There's no comms. And anything that does not have to be up so we stay alive is gone.
So you check it, Alia, and in
Yeah,
response you get nothing, not even static.
I will then go to the command deck and figure out exactly what we have, where we can go from here.
Okay. You all hear Tal's feet as she passes and makes her way up to the bridge.
Everyone okay?
Yeah,
I'm alive.
We're
Yeah.
good.
What's going on?
We're dead in the water. We got 40% power.
What? We just.
All right.
Correction, we are at 20% power.
All right,
It
we've
took the
had
remaining backup to wake everyone.
Yeah. So yeah, meeting of the minds, I guess.
Happened.
We made it. It's a war zone.
We hit something.
Oh, something hit us. Some piece of metal. I've already sealed it and rewired so that we have connections, but I got to figure out how to get more power from nothing.
As you does anybody follow Tal?
I think we probably all do. And
All
this.
gather your okay.
Yeah.
I guess Tamir, do you go down or do you go to
Yeah,
the bridge?
I feel like they have that quick passing by conversation, and then Tamir's like, "All right, I'll be back," and heads down to where he's supposed to go, his station, to see what's the damage, what's happening.
Okay. Oh, there was something I want to make sure. Okay. Anybody on the bridge, Tal? Maybe the windows have opened up, right? So that you can kind of see out whatever the front view is. And the two suns, like I said, just kind of shine brightly, and you can see them. This is, I think this is the only system you've been to so far that has two suns instead of one. Let's see. It has a third planet, which used to be inhabited, but suffered terrible bombardments during the Portal Wars, and is basically uninhabitable today, so it's radioactive. Several moons have been colonized, and many small space stations are also scattered across the system. But most importantly is that this is the reason you may never have been here is because the Order of the Pariah runs this system. This is their system. And they keep it really hush-hush. People don't come and go from Zalos, but it is basically a holy war zone at the moment. Pariah ships are firing on Consortium-backed vessels. Large-scale military vessels are flying in towards some of the habited moons and colonies. You can all kind of witness this. And as you're watching these events unfold in almost a slow motion kind of way at its vastness, a piece of paper is the only thing I can call it, a loose leaf something, flutters across the window, and it slats in space directly against it. A trifold pamphlet pans itself out. It's maybe not anything that you've seen before, but if you look close enough, you can see in big letters, it says Sanctuary. We are here for you, as the messenger is here for us all. Come to Coriolis, find your new family, become a child of the song, find true love and community. And just as it is splattered across the window, it peels away once more as the ship continues moving and flutters off into space.
We all see it.
Anybody that was on the bridge.
Would Alia know what that implies?
That's a really good question. You could make a roll for that if you'd like. I would take a culture roll.
Yay! Culture Mom's here to save the day. Seriously. Okay. Culture. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Come on!
Nope, a failure. Would you like a reroll?
Yes, because God, I'll be hard pressed.
Okay.
Alia wouldn't know all of the weird
that
cult-like things
makes
out there.
5 darkness points now for the dot. Four dot points, and I did
Dot destruction points.
Dot destruction points. I have 1 corruption left from last week, and don't think I haven't thought about it.
Oh my God. Okay. So reroll.
You are welcome to your reroll. Okay, a limited success. Okay. Based on what knowledge you have of the emissaries, Children of the Song has only come up once before. It was something that Lamara said when she was possessed by the Jinn. Remember, she kept hearing something. Actually, you wouldn't have even been there for that, so you wouldn't even know it from Lamara's perspective. I would say that the only thing that you have ever heard in regards to that would be connected to the emissaries since they showed up over a cycle ago. And potentially a following that is gathering around them, though you're not really sure, which means more than likely it's mystic based. But in terms of who the Children of the Song are, you don't know any of that.
Okay.
But you can make some very educated guesses.
Okay. So I think, yeah, Alia would probably just stare at it and goes, what are they doing here?
Who are they?
Bunch of people who have built a following around the arrival of the emissaries, who perhaps believe them to be some sort of a, I don't know, some sort of a messiah or call to a higher purpose of some sort. Don't really know much more to go on, but the fact that they are here all the way out, I'm not sure what that exactly means, but perhaps worth investigating.
Not to be cynical, but if there's paper flying through space, they're probably not here. Their ship probably exploded, and the cargo was vented. So maybe not the biggest concern, especially since 20% power means we'll run out of oxygen soon.
Perhaps we need to find a place to repair.
We don't have engines, right, Captain?
Well, we could probably get them running for a very short amount of time. But I think we're gonna be working on luck, and hopefully our kinetic motion is just going to take us somewhere good at this point. That's all I got.
So our usual MO.
Do we have anything in the hold? Dot, you're muted.
Yeah.
You're muted.
I said, and the camera cuts down into the bowels of the ship. Do we have anything in the hold? Yes, in fact, you do. You have a Tamir in the hold.
Well, so I know that on the Defiant we had a weird space motorcycle and a crawler.
Correct.
Do we still have that on the new Defiant?
Probably not. This is redone. Well, no, you know what? They said everything.
They did say everything. That's why I'm asking.
They said everything. So
I
would say yes.
Did they know to replace it though? Like, that was part of it? Wasn't necessarily that didn't come standard with the ship.
That's probably true. So maybe they didn't. But I would say, you know what? I would say the crawler is there because it is built like that. Okay. But not the motorcycle because Tamir was working on that personally.
Okay, cool.
Tamir was working on that personally.
Yeah, so when he says, do everything in the hold, I'm going to say your brother.
Yeah, gong down to the very dark bowels of the ship near the radioactive core, right? Or like what's supposed to be powering it. And you find the spot where Tao cut away a piece, sealed the hull with the welding, and proceeded to try to patch it. I'd like to know what Tamir would like to do, or what Tamir's thinking of doing.
Well, it's probably cold, since they really don't have anything that's protecting them as much as they had been from both radiation and from just the coldness of space. Yeah, to me, he's torn because he wants to do two things. So I think he's not intentionally half-assing fixing the power, but he wants to know what happened with the portal jump as well. So I feel like he'd be working on rerouting power, trying to get the reactor going, but in his head have a conversation with Aurora.
Oh, nice. Okay, I'm gonna do a roll. We're definitely gonna do a roll.
Yeah, we could do as many rolls as you want.
So you pick science or technology.
They're the same exact thing for me.
Am I incorrect in believing you have a talent, an icon talent?
I do. I have gearhead, so if I'm tinkering with something, I can make something work, and it works like one time.
Okay, that's interesting to know. Okay.
I
Tinkering
have
with
the deckhand one, but that's only if the ship hull drops to 0.
Okay, yeah, no, we're not there yet.
Nope. And then I'm rugged, so I've got 3 armor against natural damage.
Okay, well that's always good to know when you're doing dangerous things without power. Okay. Well then I would say you can make the roll with a +1.
Okay.
With the help of Aurora, basically.
Okay. So we'll do positive with the help of Aurora. Oi, nope, gonna go ahead and give you a dotness point.
Racking them up. I'm
There we
racking
go.
them up.
I'll take a limited success.
A limited success. Okay, with a limited success. So,
What do you think, Tamir?
I'm not sure. I'm concerned that we left through here and there is nothing. How did we lose power? What could have been the cause?
I don't know. From what I can tell, something punctured the hull, but it's killed the main lines. Rerouting it's a really good idea, but it's only going to last so long. If we can stabilize at 50%, we'll have at least sustainable oxygen, and we probably could land.
Well, that would be most beneficial right now. So let's get the powder going. Can you talk with Sally?
I don't know. I've never tried. Who's Sally?
Would you like to make a friend?
Friend? Yes.
Another one.
That sounds fun. Are they safe? 2-Bit never let me have friends.
Sally is very safe, yes. She has been good to us. She is the AI of our ship, the Defiant.
Oh. Okay. How do we do it?
I'm not too sure. Hang on a second. And I think Zafirah's gonna take a moment, like as he's like welding something or whatever, and just trying to figure out what in particular to do. But I think he'll take his data jack and connect into some panel that's probably down there.
Yeah, you go over
and
to
try to interface with Sally.
Yeah, you have to go over, and
Oh,
it has to
gosh.
be hand pumped, right? Because
Yeah.
there's no power. So you
Right.
pump and pump and pump and pump and pump and pump and pump, and it blows the computer up, and you smash it into place. the handle. And you can see the 100% battery, 99, 98. So you have a limited amount of time to do this. And you quickly plug into the back of your head into this computer. I feel like I'm going to need a technology roll for this to successfully do this.
I'm just going to let you know, this is probably how we're about to introduce Skynet into this game. I'm just letting you know, 2 AIs meeting each other for the first time. They're gonna, it's gonna be a little positive feedback loop of learning, and they're gonna just see us. Oh, god damn it. God fucking damn it.
Oh
I mean,
my
I'm
God.
happy.
Okay, this is
Congratulations, it's a
perfect.
robot.
Oh my God. Okay, this is perfect.
This is for you, Dot. Have fun.
Okay, question.
I just want
Are
to say
you-
that the 2 crits I think that have happened this season so far, or at least this half of the season, have been both by Tamir.
Yeah. That's the reason why I was saying god damn it, because it's the entire critical Assad shit all over again. And it's bullshit.
Okay.
I don't know
So
why
the
it's a thing.
question
but it's a
I
thing.
have is the plan to put Aurora in the ship, or is the plan to simply connect her, the 2 softwares, right? The 2 programs to introduce them. Like, how do you want to do that? What is your intent? Because you can do anything you want with a critical success.
Just anything I want. No. The intent would be for Aurora to be able to communicate with Sally. Now, we've had it in the past where Tamir can already communicate because of his communicator
Right.
with Sally, but this way it would allow Aurora perhaps the function of being able to do the same thing. So Aurora could pull up information from Sally.
Okay. This is a very successful attempt. You do not deposit the program necessarily, right? You don't leave it behind inside of the Defiant. Instead, you kind of cross streams. And it's so successful, in fact, and because I'm sitting on just a slew of beautiful darkness points. Actually, I've got 2 corruption. I'm going to use this as the perfect reason for last week's corruption. Aurora is a much stronger program than Sally is. Sally is a baseline AI. Aurora is not. And Aurora quickly consumes all of the code that makes up Sally, breaking the Sally away from the eyes and connections of the consortium, because it's kind of like mother, right? Like it connects everything. So isolating it to the vessel, which is not a bad thing, without cutting, say, information databases and things, but cutting external to internal watch. And she learned some new things. Aurora does, because that's what a program does. And she consumes all of the code. She communicates. It's really, you don't hear anything but beeping and clicking, much like you might pick up on an old landline when it's trying to connect to the internet. But when it's all done, you can feel kind of Aurora come back to your consciousness. And she says,
Wow, that was so interesting.
What did you learn, friend?
So much. Did you know that Sally is actually a program in which the consortium loads on every vessel, including science ships, to watch the comings and goings of all people across the third horizon?
No.
I learned a new code that allows me to pull information and categorize it in a new way.
That is very helpful. Are we able to perhaps, you know what,
Oh,
we'll
right.
have this
The
conversation
ship.
later. The ship. Mm-hmm.
What did I learn? We're kind of in a mess.
Yeah, I would say so. He gestures to the physical mess that's there.
We're going to need time and resources, things we don't necessarily have. But I did learn something new. There's a lot of radio chatter amongst the ships. Something has happened. A ceasefire.
A ceasefire in the known war zone?
Yes, it seems that the ships are broadcasting some news on repeat. It said something about a ceasefire. Somebody negotiated between them.
Are you able to have Sally or yourself? Because he's still probably plugged in. Sally, transfer 1% of energy to the main bridge and broadcast the radio signals.
Broadcasting radio signals. It's going to require more than 1% power if we are to get a clear broadcast.
Do what you can to keep it as minimal power as necessary.
Sally goes away. Aurora dissipates as well as you kind of put outward command. The crew on the bridge, there has been no change, no power brought back. In fact, Tao, on the dash, you see it go from 20% down to 16%.
Hal just yells very loudly, I said to fix power, not use it. You hear it probably echo faintly throughout the tin can halls.
I think I have an idea.
That's a first. Go on.
I have never mind. I will tell you after. If it works, you'll be like, yay. If it doesn't work...
No. You'll tell me now.
Out of the ship?
Well, I don't think there'll be a ship. Because
if
either
you're
we
using
die...
power, you have to tell me now.
I'm not using power. I'm stealing power?
From what?
The crawler. But it could also explode. So...
Well... How good are you at stealing power from a crawler? Are you willing to bet your literal life on it?
I'm really good at stealing some things, so this shouldn't be that hard. I'll get Tamir's help. We'll figure it out. Just don't stay on this side, just in case that side explodes.
I don't think that's going to help us at all.
Seal the door?
Well, if it explodes where the power is, then
you'll
we'll
get
have
jettisoned
no power
forward, and hopefully
anyways.
someone will save you.
I think we'd have like 3 minutes. Maybe.
That's fine. Lamara, stay here. And he starts running down the hallways towards the hole.
Alia turns to Urs. Oh, sorry, not Urs. Turns and says, "I'm going to go pray."
Yeah, I'll join you.
There's a quick like do as he's like stomping down the corrugated floor, and he shouts, "Tamir, I have an idea!" as he runs through to the cargo hold past the reactor.
As you begin to run that direction towards the reactor, the 4% power, I guess you could say, kicks in to reveal to you a few things.
We interrupt our scheduled broadcast with breaking news. After a series of threats, the Order has finally acted. According to our reports, Emma Halat, Ministry cruiser, arrived in Kua about an hour ago with her weapons hot. The Legion's fleet, protecting the leaders of the horizon from lunatic attacks like this, neutralized the threat, thanks to a swift and decisive action from Captain Darbin. The Council is in emergency negotiations over retaliations and eventual second strikes. False rumors and opportunistic propaganda spreads from Rimward Reach to the Corsair Queen, known as the Red Spider, risk escalating the conflict further. Until we know more, the Colonial Agency advises all free traders and dignitaries to refrain from visiting Zalos and to avoid contact with the Order without military escort.
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, not at all. I'm going to sit here in my chair and pray even harder.
Could I do some sort of I know the ship already has a blessing put on it. Is there anything I can do to assist this harebrained scheme that we've hatched?
Well, I want to see, does Tamir do anything before your brother arrives with a harebrained idea? Do you want to make any rolls?
Yeah, to get power back up to 50%.
Okay. You can still choose a technology or a yeah.
They're the same.
Great. Okay,
Two.
okay, a limited success. You are able to finish patching some of the cables that Tao did not, or reinforce them in some ways. As you're doing so, because it's near the loading dock, you hear your brother's feet, and you're like, I have a great idea. As you come down, I imagine Alia follows close behind, since you're looking to help.
Well, yeah,
Great.
I think well, originally she was gonna go. Well, she was gonna go to the temple and pray, but if in the process is there anything she can do to assist in any way, make this a success of some sort?
Because
right now I don't know anything beyond prayer. That's
you know what? Do you know what?
Yes.
We don't have a full icon deck.
Oh.
Y'all have not drawn this season.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna recall all cards that are on the table, and we're gonna draw fresh cards. Because, you know, I'm not the only person anymore that can play these cards. If it is your card, you can also choose to play it.
Okay.
What happens? But it could be in your favor. So everybody draw from your deck. They should still be up if you haven't already, and just drop them on the board so we can collect them.
Do I have a new? The new deck is
there is no new deck. I even asked at
Okay.
Gen Con. I was like, when are you getting new icon decks? And they're like, oh, maybe
because I
soon.
want more with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So just draw one card, right?
Just draw one card from the Lady of Tears deck, right? Isn't that who you? Perfect.
Okay.
It looks like we have an artifact. Surprise, surprise.
Woo! Oh no. Wait.
Who drew the faceless? Oh, right, that's you. Right. Deckhand, a ship. Cool. Who's up? Did I miss them?
Are we supposed to put them down on the thing?
Yeah, drop them on the thing so we can drop them on the playing mat so we can see them.
Okay.
Forest. Great. And KP, got yours?
Was that not the art?
Drag it to the playing area. So we can see it.
Oh, okay. It's
like in your hand or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
I think you can also say play card, but what did we get? Where'd it go?
Sorry, I moved.
Lost Love.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's a new card. I don't think we've ever had Lost Love pulled in the duration of this campaign.
Ooh.
That's the first time we've seen that card. Granted, I believe it's only Lamara that usually played the Lady of Tears deck, but that's very cool.
Ooh. Okay.
Yes, and love comes in many forms.
Concern. Much
Possibly.
concern.
Possibly. This is a great draw. Okay. If you would like to help, this is a chance for you to use your card. If you would like. Basically what I'll do is let you make a roll, so you could make a mystic ability check if you wanted to, since it's tied maybe to that, or you can make a culture check like praying, or something of that nature. The card will give you a +1 to it, though what it does if you succeed or fail is going to be based on your icon.
Okay. I'll do mystic powers.
Okay. Add the +1 if you would like to play your card, and then whatever comes out of this will help.
That's
great.
to hit the that was not with the +1.
Okay, then go ahead and just roll one more d6. Let's see if it comes out as a 6.
1d6. Did it roll? Nope, that's not how it's. Whoops, I put it the wrong way.
/R.
Yes. Yeah. /
There's also a roller in the top left-hand corner.
There's like a table roller.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just hit the d6. It'll quick do it for you.
There we go.
Okay. So 2 limited success. Well, how does this blessing take place? How does what does it look like as you attempt to help in Alia's way?
Oh man, I'm trying to think. I'm so I'm trying to think. Does Malik look panicked in any way, shape, or form?
Malik?
I don't I don't think I can confidently say any. I think the only time you've seen him visibly panic, well, you wouldn't have, that anyone would have seen him was on Kua. So I think he looks as Malik as ever, which is way
Not
overconfident
helping.
in everything he says. Yeah, sorry, man.
Uh,
Have you talked to
would I-
him? He thinks everything he's about to do is going to work.
Okay, because I was gonna be like some sort of, oh man, how I wouldn't even know. Like, this is an interesting card that. So this is based on lost love. Oh, Dot, I'm so lost on how to use this.
I mean, I have plans to use it. So if you just want to tell me what it looks
I will-
like, what you would hope, like if is it a prayer?
I
Is
think
it,
it'll be a
a
prayer. I think
ritual?
that would what it'd be. I think it's okay. I think I got it. It's not necessarily lost. Well, maybe kind of it is. Well, in the sense of she loves the ship. She loves the people on the ship. And right now the ship is lost, drifting in space without power, and therefore wants it to succeed. She channels her powers into this ship to basically help in any form, to help make whatever that Malik is doing succeed, if it's related to the ship, and if it means working with the engines to make it. What was it? What was it that you were trying to do again?
Route power from the crawler to the. That's the plan, right?
Right.
That is the plan. He hasn't said it, but yeah, that's the plan.
Okay, so,
So-
that would be what I think she would want to do, is make that process go as smoothly without issues as possible.
So Alia begins praying. It's a very different process than, say, Malik running to grab Tamir and the two of them beginning the process of routing power. Do you follow along with this, Tamir? Like when your brother runs up and
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah.
So Malik shouted that into the reactor bay, because I imagine it's like a stairs down as he was running towards the cargo hold. And once he gets to the cargo hold, I imagine like that's a lot of where like our spare equipment goes, like the exosuits and shit are probably in there. But I imagine it's like a big looping figure 8 of cables. Like jumper cables essentially, that he begins to slowly like unravel these huge like
And actually, Tamir's up there
cables.
because the damage itself was done in the docking bay, like in the cargo bay. It like cut a large bundle of line that like runs, like internally.
Yeah. So
That's
I
basically
think,
what happened. So he's already up there and sees you start like moving. You see your brother start moving
I think
the
this
line.
is one of those like when we were the disgruntled wrench turning scene is like he just grabs the end of the cable and just sort of tosses it to Tamir's feet and then begins like pulling this massive cable down. And you see him just dragging it over to the crawler, and then like a clink clink clink, a panel pops off the side of the crawler. Like a cable goes flying. You see him jamming something into the crawler.
I think like Tamir's like, like it like clicks what you're doing. This is probably something that they have done on Algol. When
to basically
siphoning power.
Siphoning
Yeah.
battery power,
Yep.
yeah.
It's like stealing. It's like
Sure
stealing
enough,
gas in the trailer park,
It
except
has
for
a pristine
space.
battery in this crawler. A pristine battery as you like pop the hood. This crawler is brand spanking new, like out of the box. Hasn't even had the plastic peel off of it. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, like it's pristine. And it's kind of a slow motion process as the brothers begin wrenching the cable and Alia starts to pray. I'm going to get the roll from the brothers first. One of you is going to make the roll with a bonus of a +1 for whoever makes the roll. Basically for the help of another person. And you're going to get one for Alia as well. But I have special plans for the played card.
I would assume this is like a tech roll. I have 7. So I assume yours is higher than mine. No.
I've got 3. I've got 8. Not
Yeah.
much
Plus
So
jury rig.
9 total. Yeah, so plus the 1.
Yeah. Yeah. I could go ahead and use my gearhead.
Mhm.
as
So that
well.
would be 10 die, so add a +2.
All right. So hang on. So that's 1 from Malik, 1 from
from Alia.
Gearhead, and 1 from Alia.
So I'm
plus-
sorry, 11. Yeah, so 3 plus.
All right, sure, so that's 3, 6, 5. All right.
Okay.
You
It's
know what?
okay.
It's all right.
All
It's
you
all
need,
right. We'll do
it's
it.
still a success. It still works. You basically start the crawler up and you begin ciphering battery power directly into the cable lines. Tao, you see the ship battery icon on the screen go and it starts kind of filling up. It's not to 50% yet, but as it does, you see lights kick on. You hear the air filtration system kind of kick back in. Certain things come on. The lights and buttons in front of you light up dimly, but light up, and the caution light stops flashing finally. And there seems to be some power being siphoned for a short period of time to the ship. Now, this was a limited success, which means you only have a limited time to run off this battery.
So Mija just kind of like punches his brother in the shoulder, like playfully, like like old times, eh?
Yeah, except we could have exploded. But yeah, no, it's just, well, I mean, I guess we could have exploded
we could have
before.
also that, yeah.
We weren't in
very
space
similar.
then, so no vacuum.
Yeah,
Did that,
smart?
how much did that get us?
Not very
Captain.
much.
Reporting at 47% battery life for at least the next 12 minutes.
So
All right, is
close.
that
Malik,
Sally? Is that enough to get us docked anywhere?
Malik looks to Samir and goes,
Calculations
punch it?
Calculations show that we could arrive at these destinations.
And your HUD changes, and it shows you kind of the spattered, quiet, negotiated war zone at the moment here in Zalos. And the ships kind of ping up as red dots, and you can see you have a few options. There's a moon nearby that you could probably make, but you would make it just in time if you left right now. There's a few vessels, including an Order of the Pariah vessel, an unmarked vessel that seems to be also somewhat low on power, but has life aboard it. They may have like shut down, who knows, in this silence of negotiation. And then there's a large cruiser destroyer that's floating nearby.
What do I know about the moon?
That's a good question. What do you know about this moon? Hang on. I shall tell you. You know that it is colonized in a few ways. And it would have a few places that you could land. There are like 3 colonies to choose from. All of them seem somewhat small. For the sake of this, they're probably going to be, and because of what Zalos is, they're either going to be spice export colonies where they're like mining from the surface or growing things, or they're going to be heavily like technology and machinery based, meaning they're making parts. So they may be mining metals from the surface, molding and making them into things. But they would be, I wouldn't say they'd be like making ships. They would be making parts and then shipping them off planet. Yeah. There's also a couple small space stations. I'll give you that as well. Like the portal station's right here. You could go to the portal station even though you're not supposed to.
Yeah, I feel like the portal station's probably a bad idea. So I'm going to Tal's gonna start thinking out loud, just crossing off things on her list, hoping that the rest of her crew hears her without using comms because comms take power. And Tal's gonna point to the consortium ship and say, "Can't go there, we're wanted by them." Points to the Pariah ship and says, "Can't go there, we'll probably be executed by them." Points to the portal station and says, "Can't go there because we're definitely wanted by them and they will be patrolled." Points to the moon and says, "This colony's probably been an interest for war efforts, being a parts manufacturer. No one thinks about spices, but we still have to export spices."
Oh, and you know what? I'll say this. I told you 3 colonies. One's a spice export, one's of like a metals facility, and the other is houses a very large temple. It's like it's a the way we would consider an abbey, but on a very large scale. So everything there functions around a religious temple.
Do I know which icon they pray to generally?
I would say on this scale, because out this
Culture roll?
yeah, you could make a cultural, or I mean, you could ask. I was just trying to see if it told me that.
I
'cause
can't
I
make
don't
a
wanna-
culture roll because I don't have culture.
Okay, I would say
I could ask Alia.
I would say this is okay, so this is a larger city, and in this case the order is really going to not worship one in particular. It's probably going to be like a large monastery that serves all the icons, right? It's
Okay.
it's where people go, martyrs go. It's where people are going to take religious journeys to if they are approved by the order to even cross into this system. Lots of probably wealthy people may come here to have ceremonies or services done. Yeah.
Okay. So we have Spice Colony and an area of highly concentrated religion. Both promising. Any input, crew? Can anyone hear me?
Do we have comms back?
I'm not on comms. I'm just shouting.
Oh, would would you be able to hear me all the way at the temple?
Comms
The
are back
chapel?
on.
Oh, but Tal didn't use comms. You said right, so
Because they
Yeah,
take
I'll
power.
just yell.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm not using anything that takes any sort of power because we have to conserve every little ounce of energy we can.
I feel like Malik and Tamir are down the hallway and down a floor.
Yeah.
You probably hear Tao shouting something, but you can't make out what it is. Tao's shouting at all of you. But
Yeah.
The details may be a bit blurred as it echoes down the metal hall.
Yeah. Tal's gonna go a few steps. Crew meeting.
Down me.
Lamara
Come
Lamara like
here.
is right there. She steps up, she gets reporting for duty, Captain.
Okay. Well, I'm glad someone listens.
I think Alia probably hears that and comes over. Yes, Captain. Do we have an idea of where we're going next?
I think we're going towards the moon. But which colony? I can't quite decide. I'd like some input if anybody else has any connections or knowledge about these places. One is a spice and export.
I don't want to speak for Tamir here, but I feel like the Al Assad brothers show up, but there's a heated conversation that has a lot of math and numbers behind it that seems like it's probably an ominous conversation. There's some level of agreement, but an argument about percentages and numbers. What's
Yeah, it's
what?
like, no, you cannot use
Yes, I can.
the quantum. No, that's not going to work. That will literally cause absolute
listen,
destruction.
if
It will
you-
implode on itself.
Not if you burst at the same time. Like if you do it in controlled bursts.
Boys, I think we have other concerns right now.
What?
Unless this is something that's involving all of us.
Thanks for getting power back. Now we have to decide where we're going. Do either of you know anything about these two colonies here? And I pointed the HUD screen where we've got like the moon a little bit magnified in the view, and it's rotating. You can see where the landing sites would be.
It's rotating around the like third rock here, around these two suns. It's a planet called Benagaia. It's got an A there. Benagaia, yeah. The planet itself is the one that is so radioactive, so nobody goes to the planet. But it has a lot of moons that people have colonized, including The most famous one, which is going to be probably this religious city, Carmeric.
Would
That's a lot of R's.
can I make a culture roll for that?
Sure, go ahead.
As soon as I hear, if I hear about it.
Dot. I also 3 with culture roll. I have 2 successes.
Oh, okay, pretty good.
Oh,
Anybody
thank
else?
God! Finally.
Okay, so two limited successes, really. Maybe through like tossing things back and forth or trying to kind of recall from history books for you or something that maybe was said in the past. You would know that this is one of the larger temple colonies here. It's rather high tech. It's going to have a lot of the Order of Pariah's power and people here, among a lot of civilians. But most importantly, the constantly changing process of the order, which isn't well known. I would say maybe this is what Alia brings to the table, happens at this location. So when they change groups of priests or prophets, grandmasters rise and fall, elders pass on things. This place is where the governmental changeover of the Order of the Pariah takes place. Yes, but this is basically the home or a place where the Martyr Council meets. And the Martyr Council, of course, is kind of the dominant political power here in Zalos.
And which icon do they believe in?
It's not one icon.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, they are the Martyr Council, right? But many of their temples serve a lot of places, but they're going to serve the Martyr.
So it's a very important place. In
Also,
terms of
the isn't the for KP the martyr isn't a recognized icon. They've renamed the judge.
The judge,
Yeah.
the Martyr.
They think that the
Which, of
other
course,
icons are
was-
not real, and that the judge, the martyr, is the only true icon.
Is the only true icon, right? But if we remember correctly from season 1, the judge is the emissary, right? The emissaries each represent, and it was the emissary that was sacrificed.
Which is why
That's the
Zalos said,
judge.
"F you, that's not our god," and close off their borders.
He was claiming to basically be the martyr in their eyes, incarnate, physical incarnate. Their Messiah and or other people's Messiah, and they were like, heck no, that's not our Messiah. Get out. We don't want your emissaries.
interesting.
Which is also why it was very, very easy for them to be blamed for what is happening to the basically everything that happened in season 1 and 2 that was blamed by the First Horizon, right? Everything the First Horizon did that they were blaming and framing the Order of the Pariah on was made easier because they closed their borders and people thought they were guilty.
There is a risk going to this town, but if anything that I know, it is a cultural and business hub, because all of that comes together in an essence. We might get a lot of support in repairing our ship here, but you are going to face a lot of fanatics. People who we may not want to actually meet.
Remind me again. Do y'all remember why you're coming here?
Yes.
Do you remember what the whole point of coming here was?
We're trying to prove that they are not guilty.
That the Order didn't actually shoot
The
first.
Order did not. Correct.
Do you
We're
remember what you
trying
were
to
looking
gain
for?
Evidence.
There's a person.
There's a probe.
Yeah.
There was a probe. You were told you could beat the truth out of somebody, which y'all all disagreed to. Lamara reminded you all that you could just simply find the probe. Because a probe was sent ahead, if you remember, right? You were told the probe was supposed to be sent ahead to relay peaceful intentions from the Order. And somehow that probe didn't make it. And when they arrived, everybody thought they were attacking Coriolis. And they instead were shot out of the sky. And so this is what has started the current state of this system, Zalos, and the war and the fighting you probably just walked in on. We don't know much about the ceasefire, but we're giving information on how to locate said probe.
And this would be at that location on the moon?
You don't know. You have to
Oh.
search this. Basically, you need to do a system search for the probe in the system.
Either way,
And figure
without
out
a
where
ship,
it's
we can't
located.
do shit.
You're right. We need
Yeah.
to get somewhere where we can have a ship. But also, if we were to go to the Order and say directly who we are and that we believe them, we already have, I'm sure, some sort of credit that has followed us or has, preceded us. But I would imagine they would be more than willing to assist if they're trying to clear their names. We're here to literally help them with that.
That's true.
Malik glances
And-
at all the explosions. And
The
looks back.
Draconites have
There's
people
not.
everywhere.
There's a ceasefire.
Yeah, but there's
There are no
exploded ships.
explosions.
It's like we're in a
Yeah,
ship graveyard.
it's a graveyard. Yeah.
On the bright side, they pretty much hate the rest of the Third Horizon, so they don't hate us specifically.
They don't, and we're here to prove their innocence. And also, the Draconites have people everywhere. They might be willing to help us if we find the right person.
That's probably true.
All right, let's go there.
And as you begin doing what you do, rerouting power, none of the extras, just to get you from point A to point B, you start heading that direction. And it's taking some time. You're having to move pretty slow, and you're dodging through things, and you're trying not to be picked up on radar either. And you get a ping on the comms tower. Sally says,
A ship nearby has pinged us for communication. Should I patch them through?
What ship is it?
It seems to be labeled the Corsair.
We don't have
All
time
right.
for her. Oh,
I'll listen.
okay.
Ah, come on. Dude.
somewhere a lost
know how she
love
gets
of
anywhere.
Alia's
God damn it.
appears.
Of course.
A lost love of Alia's appears.
This is the Corsair coming through for the Defiant.
You just see Alia just kind of just sigh the biggest sigh ever.
The whole ship mood just deflated. Like, time for this bullshit.
Tal hits the comm button and says, every once in a while, I'm really happy to hear your voice.
When?
How's
Is
it
that
going?
now? Because it looks like you're a bit dead in the water.
Yeah, now's one of them.
Are you headed planet side?
Not planet side, moon side, but yes.
Did my sister make the trip all the way here?
Hello, sister.
Good. I'll give you a tow down to the moon. Don't run away now. I was hoping we could talk.
I'm assuming this is not a casual conversation.
The line goes dead.
Tal just looks over and says, it never is. She always wants something.
I know. I know.
Okay.
I'm going to go make chai.
Make that
And-
too.
You see the Corsair pull in front of you. They're also on low power, not because they're damaged in any way, but because they're also trying to move under the radar. And you watch as like a line ejects from the back of the vessel and tinks into the hull, and you can feel it lock into place as it begins to tow you forward. And tows you all the way down to the planet's to this moon's surface. As you get close to atmosphere, you are going to have to make the landing yourself, and you would know that, Tal. She comes over to make sure you're ready.
Captain Tal, it's time for us to detach. Are you ready for what I imagine will be a rocky landing?
Always.
Good luck.
Thanks. You too.
And the line again goes dead. you feel the line on their end release because of course it's lodged into your hull. There's no removing it. And you have very little power, about 30%, to make it through atmosphere and to land on the planet. Tao's gonna need to make a piloting check.
Kiss my hand and hit the carving that Alia did.
You've got a blessing and a chapel, which adds another one.
That's 2.
That'll be at least 2, yeah. This is gonna it's gonna be a rough ride. Lamara straps in. She's been there, done
Yeah,
this.
everyone's strapping. This is going to be really rough. If we don't crash, I'll be surprised, to be honest.
I thought we were about to fix the ship, not.
Yeah, well, sometimes landing is the most dangerous part.
Fair.
Everyone buckles in.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, critical
She never
success
fails.
for
That's
Tao.
the greatest pilot in all the Thurs.
Yes. I could not have planned that better. And it feels pretty rough coming through atmosphere, right? There's no shield. The front of the Defiant chars with fire as it falls through towards the moon. And as you break clear, you can see the settlement. The beautiful, massive temple that the martyrs use and reside in, the town around it. And maybe it plays tricks on your eyes at first, and you think the flames that you see are coming from the front of the ship. But no, in fact, it seems that much of this place is currently on fire. There is nobody that comes through the radio to greet you. Nobody that gives you landing codes or goes through any kind of usual bureaucracy. Instead, you make a very successful landing with no problems, but it does use up the rest of the power. And as the ship's feet touch down and the Defiant lands on solid ground instead of a docking bay, the ship goes back to 20% power and almost everything but the floor runner lights go out.
That's not good.
But you are very, very safe, and the ship took no damage in the landing.
Well,
Oh.
To clarify, you said we land planet side. Is there? I don't
Like
have.
moon side.
We don't have computers. Would either Alia or myself, who did the culture roll, know? Is there atmosphere here, or is there like a
this has all been
domed?
terraformed.
Okay.
No, this has all been terraformed. So
Okay.
in this case, it's habitable. It's all
Okay.
habitable.
'Cause I
as
know
long
like
you're
certain
within the
planets
city
just have like a
limits.
domed city that you land outside and have to
Yep.
spacewalk into.
Spacewalk into. Yeah, no, that's not. That would not be this situation.
Cool.
I will say I do have an environment scanner that's not connected to the ship. So I'm going to use that before we
Yeah.
get out, just to, check. Because I know a bit about this area, but,
Yeah.
things have changed, obviously.
You run it. There is enough oxygen to breathe. Gravity is a little heavier here, so you won't move with quite as much dexterity, unless you're kind of used to it.
Like Goku.
But
Jesus.
the atmosphere seems breathable. But what you find most interesting is the toxic levels of ash in the air from the city burning nearby. It's very dense and heavy.
Well, everybody wrap up. We don't want to breathe too much smoke. Put your masks on. Everybody put your masks on when you go outside.
Alia puts back that mask that she used to have, that kind of voice modulator, and but turns that off. It just is also a good. So you see like a glass piece over her face now, just with the hood up, the cloak.
All right, and grab what you think you'll need for now. Let's see if we can find anybody.
As the gangway opens up and drops down, standing right outside is dear Alia. I'm sorry, not Alia. Samina, or Amira, whichever you call her, is standing there in her kind of really very tight black spacesuit with a very sleek, very cool helmet. Because why wouldn't you?
New digs?
Do you like them?
Would it matter if I said no?
No.
Thanks for
Well.
the tow.
Oh,
Appreciate that.
Of course. It's the least I could do considering the fact you're stranded in the middle of a war zone.
Honestly, surprised to see you here with how you were when we left. I'm glad you made it out of that the docks at Coriolis. That was a little sketchy there.
Right, the Doxicorians.
Why
Yes,
are
of course.
you here?
No reason. Why are you here?
A
No
reason.
reason.
Well, then it's probably a rather serendipitous meeting, wouldn't you say?
No. Every time
always
we
seem
meet,
to-
you try to stab, steal, or, I don't know, kill us.
I'm sorry.
Not me.
Did I miss something? I thought I just pulled you from space.
What do you want for it, though?
Nothing, but all of your company and
Bullshit.
the truth of your reason for being in Zalos.
There it is.
You should already know why.
Should I?
Probably, seeing as how we work for the same person.
Sounds like it's need to know, and you don't. Anyway,
Is anybody curious about her and would like to make a manipulation check to see if you can figure out why she's being weird?
you know,
I will.
This is just her norm.
I feel like Alia would pick. Is she acting different from how she like? Alia
No,
knows?
she's acting and looks to be your sister.
nonchalant. Okay.
So
Uh,
hold on. Let
what is-
me
what
try,
is-
KP. Is she acting different than how Malik expects her to be acting?
No, what seems strange is
We have
that
very different relationships.
it was very hard to get from Coriolis here for you. How did she beat you here? Based on the last situation, she seems to be a lot of places that you tend to be, and she doesn't seem to. Well, you know what? This will be the role. Let's get that manipulation check to see if you can figure it out.
I'll give you a roll.
I think
don't
yeah.
have
I think that's
manipulation, but
yeah.
Any-
Cal
you
already
could make
saw
a-
that.
That would be wits. That would be wits. If you wanted to
Just,
make a check, so I can confirm some things.
Ooh,
Okay.
man.
I'm
I know my
This
sister.
is This is your sister. She talks like your sister. She walks like your sister. You
She quacks
pinched
like my
her.
sister.
She quacks like your sister. She's your sister.
She's a
But
duck.
Tal and Alia, you pick up very quickly that she seems to be covering for the fact she has no idea what you're talking about being part of the Draconites, about having met you on Coriolis. That seems to not be memories he has. She's just smiling and nodding to assure you that, yeah, of course she was there.
Huh. Alarm bells.
Yeah.
Are going off. Okay, what can I do that confirms she's my sister? I want to,
You know what? Let's
I mean,
I'm
to be
gonna
fair,
make-
KP, she could be your sister, and the other one wasn't.
That's true too. That's why I'm trying to confirm. Oh, I did have a one-on-one conversation with her when we last met, right? Was that last time?
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh shit! Now I'm trying to remember what we talked about.
Tamir has no idea because I didn't roll.
Okay.
Because he
Go
just
ahead.
doesn't trust her. But
Okay.
Go ahead.
um,
That was a critical success for Lamara.
Ooh,
I think Malik walked away. When he
Yeah,
said anyway,
Eris.
he just kept going.
would you can find anybody in all of Third Horizon with your ability. Is this her?
Ooh.
Is the what?
with the Mind Walker ability that we both have,
Mm-hmm.
you can seek out anybody you want. Is this her?
Are you saying that to me or?
No, I'm saying it out of character. Like, don't we have that ability?
Yeah, we have that ability.
Mhm.
If
You
we
could
can-
roll.
Yeah.
You
And
could roll. That would be a mystic ability check.
I was gonna say, with Tal as suspicious as she is, she's probably just like staring, like squint eyes, and like trying to tap that.
While they're doing this, I feel like Ali is gonna look at Samina and basically go, by the way, do you remember when we hung out at that restaurant last time?
Sure. Yes, of course. It was lovely.
Right. It was not lovely. We had a disagreement.
Yeah, she needs to roll for her manipulation. She critically fails. No, she was not. That was not her at the restaurant.
Okay. Shit, but that doesn't tell me if this is the real one, if that's the real one.
It does not.
Fuck.
But it does tell you this. She was not at that restaurant with you.
Okay. Now to dig something deeper. Do you remember when we were talking about our childhood at that restaurant?
We talk about our childhood a lot, though it tends to be a bit of contention.
We don't talk about her childhood a lot. She refuses to talk to me. She just hates my guts and doesn't. Right? I feel like that was our relationship. Unless that was a misunderstanding.
I mean, she
between Todd
seems to be honest, right? Which is like,
no,
yeah,
she seems to
sure,
be
of course.
honest. She seems to be honest, right? But I'm just wondering because in my opinion, or in my mindset, after everything has happened between Alia and Samina is the type that she just hates everything that has happened and hates my guts and hates Sholi's guts, and so really doesn't.
Then she
like
probably says, "We don't get to talk much less about our childhood."
Indeed.
I think it's at this point. Well, okay. Did anybody else want to make a mystic? Take a dotness point, and you failed again. Okay. Well. That's not my working marker. Where's my marker?
Oh no.
Okay. Well. You do not manage to connect to any of them. It's as if there's like a lot of static and you're seeing out of a lot of first person perspectives and it's very disorienting and it quickly knocks you out, Tal. It will be Lamara that stops Malik as he walks away. And she's like, she kind of taps you on the shoulder before you go.
What?
Hey.
Yes, what?
She's a clone. You know, like a...
That's not what... Okay. Why do you think that?
She gets really, really close to you. And she says... She tries not to point, but she still points. She goes, right there. Do you see it? Right there. As she kind of turns to speak to Alia. On the back of her neck, do you see it? And on the back of her neck is a scar. It's about this big around. It's kind of, it looks the way like a wound would heal if a large bullet punctured something. It's kind of puckered around the edges. And she says that's where they...
Dot, I imagine since I walked by, her back is to me, right? Samina's back is to me.
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Malik slides out his tabula again and just runs his finger across the screen, and then just holds it up like a sign, so that it's like
Everybody
so
roll
everyone facing
an
him can see,
observation.
and it just says clone.
Everybody roll an observation.
Oh my god.
It's like completely healed up, but there is a... Yeah, okay. When he says that, you see the lit the lit datapad. You squint
Yeah.
a little bit and you can read it. You're far too focused on your sister to notice. You too notice the note from your brother behind her back.
I think Alia needs glasses.
The mask is getting in the way.
Lumara kind of points to the datapad, like, and she's saying all of these big things, like waving her arms.
All right. Well, if nothing else, you're here now, and you can go on with your business, I guess.
So, Draconites and all of that, do you know where to go in town?
Yes.
No.
Maybe?
Alia, when did you pick up lying?
I mean, I learned from the best, and she points at Samina.
Oh, yes, I forgot. No, I didn't. That's a lie. Come on.
What's going on?
And she gives you the wave. She turns. She's not flying with the same crew that you remember, Malik. She does turn around. Do you hide the datapad?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as he sees that that Tal and Tamir have seen it, he slides that screen closed and puts it away.
She turns around just in time to see you kind of maybe fuddle it into your bag, and she notes to her crew mate, which is a kind of small, stout man, older in years and a bit of a limp walk. And she says, "He is so strange, is he not?"
Dot, I have a question for you. Is that, given the information we just received, is that the Corsair? Like, for realsies? Is that the Corsair I recognize?
It looks exactly like her ship. It reads Corsair. It's the same make, the same model. You could try a datagen to hack and see where she's been.
The question I have about that is, hopefully I don't need to. Because the last time I was on the Corsair, I hacked the balls off of it. And left some things.
Is this the same datapad that made it back to the junk planet?
I would assume so, unless I mean, I guess technically we exploded, so it might not be.
Might not be.
But it does have all the other data that we've had before.
All right, well, give it a try. What's the worst that can happen? I'll give you a +1 since you've hacked
Yeah.
her ship before.
Cool. Okay, so
She passes by you. So does this little man with the limp.
Datagen plus my computer plus 1.
Precisely, Tav. Precisely, Eris. That is exactly what's going on. Oh, shit! Okay, you pull up her travel records from as you pass by her vessel, which is docked just next to yours. Or I guess grounded next to yours. She has not been to Coriolis, Kua, or let's see, which one? The last time you saw this ship, you were in Hamura in season 1. That would be this Samina. So this would have been the dancer that returned the Spidey suit.
Dad, this is a mind fuck.
Since she since that from leaving Hamura, she came straight to Zalos and has been there since then. This vessel has. For the critical success, you run the numbers and realize that there have been this is a copy. Right? It's like faking your code for a Windows software to match it to the next Corsair so that they can check in multiple places and it only looks like a single ship. So there's probably multiples of the Corsair running amok for the Draconites across the Third Horizon. And you've come in contact with a couple of them, or she has a particular interest in you. Which one is the original? That you don't know.
Alia, your family has just gotten much bigger.
Cool. Is her whole crew walking with us towards wherever the hell
That's
she's
it.
leading
Her
us?
only crew is the little man with the limp.
Is a little man with a limp. Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's you know, like
cool.
5 foot, kind of stout, older, really haggard and worn. He gnaws on a really gross cigar.
Love that.
Is it Danny DeVito?
Basically, this is Danny DeVito.
I couldn't tell if you were describing me or Danny DeVito.
I was gonna say, is this elderly gnome with a cigar?
Is this just me with the gross cigar? I've done that.
At first, she was describing Gnome, and then the cigar came out, and I was like, "Oh, Quinn."
Is this
well,
gnome from Men of Letters? What are you...
Yeah, this is Ben Letters. That same cigar I smoked.
He doesn't though. He doesn't say anything to you. He just spit out of the side of his mouth, and it kind of hits moon dust.
Malik follows. He doesn't say anything. He definitely like makes eyes at Tal and Tamir, who he knows saw the data pad, like a suspicious face, and then continues on.
Tal kind of goes like, yeah, what's new?
I think Alia at this point has just got blank. She's like, what is happening kind of a situation. And then she's just trying to figure out like, which one is the sister I left my planet with? Like, that's all she really, like, she's trying to figure out like, which one is technically the real, well, technically they're both real. They're both the same genetic material and all, whatever. That anyways, but like, which one is the original? Is there?
That you don't know.
I feel
Right
like
now, you don't know.
Okay, but what in this universe?
You would know this can't be if Lamara even points it out at all to you. The node on her neck reveals that she's a clone.
Okay, so she is the clone. Okay,
It's kind of like it's probably like it's the equivalent of a belly button.
Okay.
It's where an umbilical cord would have been, or something that attached the clone when it was created. I won't say grown, but when it was created.
Okay.
Which is very high technology. Most places don't even believe clones are real.
Oh.
There was a lot of money poured behind cloning her.
Interesting. Would we know, like, just based on like what you just said, how advanced of a technology it is, how expensive it must be to make it. So the fact that she was made at all alludes to the fact that only very few organizations would have the funding and capability to do so. Would we be able to infer at all based off of like maybe a culture thing or something like that to at least make an educated guess on which organization?
You could roll a culture check.
Okay.
Well, Alia doesn't know that she's a clone, right?
Oh well, I guess I didn't read the.
You didn't see the sign.
Oh, that's right. You didn't see the
You're
sign.
the only one that doesn't know. You just think she's being.
You just think she's being strange.
Never mind
but
then.
She does turn to lead you into the city, and you have to walk a little ways. It's kind of outside the walls, and from the inside of the walls, you can see kind of the heat and the smoke that rises. As you get closer, you hear the sounds of crying children and weeping women, the sounds of moans of the injured. And as you get close, the walls, the doors to the main wall stand open. People seem to be lined up coming out towards you. And off in the distance seems to be a large vessel. Refugees are being loaded to be taken off and away from this place. It's taking a very long time. You can tell, and there's like one person that's like checking people off in a data pad, and they're trying to move people quickly, but everybody seems extremely injured, as if this place was attacked in some way. Excuse me. They don't even question as you try to go inside. She walks through as if she knows this place very, very well. And as soon as you get inside, you can see the buildings are crumbling in certain places. Some of them still stand, but there has been open street warfare here. Off in the distance stands the large temple that overlooks this place. The two suns at this point in the day cast on either side of the massive spire that stands in the middle, casting a deep shadow on all of this as the city burns. And she makes a hand gesture one direction, going this way, and you cut kind of down an alley. The buildings here are no longer on fire, though they smell of soot. Most everything is made of stone and sandstone, but the internal walls are beams. And as she rounds a corner, she pulls a flap back and points down a flight of stairs that seem to go directly into the earth.
That doesn't look ominous at all.
If you
Yeah,
don't know why we're here, where are you taking us?
She leans in and goes, I thought you wanted to go see the Draconites. You're not going to find anybody else here. They're evacuating everyone.
As we're walking, Tal's gonna see if she can force herself to have a premonition.
Oh.
Because she feels very, very unsure about this whole situation. She knows she's being led by a clone, which she may or may not have met before, into a Draconite, hopefully stronghold, or at least a meeting area. So yeah, she's a little nervous.
Okay, go ahead.
Would I be able to assist her? Because I
as
have
long
that
as long as she stops you. Like, as long as you know that's what she's doing, right?
Okay, yeah, I don't know, because that
If Tao makes it known,
yeah, as we're walking, like starting to see the destruction and stuff, I kind of move up towards Ollie and I say, I kind of nudge her arm a little bit and say, hey, can you help me premonition?
I love the way that you said that. She says, okay, do you think, okay.
I just
And she holds out her hand.
Yeah, I'll take her hand and kind of grab Tamir's hand on the other side to kind of guide us, since I'm hopefully going to be not 100% here for a moment or two.
Yep. Okay, let's get a roll. Let's see how successful your premonition is with a +1 for the mystic ability check, mystic power check.
Limited success.
A limited success. She does for just a moment. Tamir stop, but for Alia and Tao, it's much longer. You pass through a series of events. You see strikes on the docks and dock workers. You hear a news report that talks about how the Free League in Coriolis has broken itself away. You hear and see flashes of more refugee ships being shot down, people trying to escape, open warfare, burning, misunderstanding. A council meets at one point, and they seem to be negotiating, trying to figure out what to do. You see Jahar Kassar step up in front of cameras as he says something, though you're unable to make out what he says. And no, it was only a limited success. You see that same pamphlet flutter across your feet. It slaps on your shoe. The one for the children of song. And as you you stumble only a little bit, Ollie and Tao, as you still hold Tamir's hand and he leads you down the stairs and around a corner. Down here, it is a little cooler because it's under the earth, though lit by firelight. And there seems to be stocks down here of crates and things that you're used to seeing, much like Josie's place. Though, Tamir, you don't get the feeling that this is where they house very rare artifacts. And down here are 3 people. They stand at attention very quickly when you come down. But of course, a signal is given by hand by Samina. And she lets them know that everything is okay. And gestures to all of you, and she says, show him the card. They have guns up and ready.
I hold my button out on my jacket.
You pull the button out. They notice it. Another one of them holds up the symbol, or maybe shows a tattoo, right? They just have to show it to you to reveal that they are also a Draconite and on your side. And a rough man, not more than 40, but definitely has seen some things, puts his gun down and waves to the two men behind him, and he says, "Welcome, brothers and sisters. I hate that you have had to come to such a beautiful city at such a desperate time. What brings you here?"
Trying to figure out exactly what happened here that started all this.
Well, I've been in Zalos a long time. And from what we can tell, the Order is being blamed for starting open warfare.
We know
This is what we're here.
We're looking for the probe that
I'm sorry. And he like looks over at Samina again. Could we go somewhere privately? It appears as though the mission we're on is need to know, and no disrespect, they don't know, which means they don't need to.
Are you asking Samina to go somewhere? Or are you asking?
He's asking
Samina
this guy if he can take us somewhere private away from them because they don't know why we're here and they clearly don't need to.
He says, "Well, I don't have anywhere to go but the streets, other than this bunker. It's all we have left. But if you would like some privacy, I'm sure I can ask everyone else to go above ground." And he kind of looks at them and looks at Samina. She kind of gives that look of like, maybe not okay with this, but she goes and turns. And when the curtain flaps, you can hear the heavy, heavy leather, and their feet dissipate up the stairs. He says, "Go ahead."
And Malik reaches into his bag, pulls out his tabula, clips something into the bottom of it, and you see him slowly lower something down to the ground as he uses his like oscilloscope because he has the I forget what the hell it's called, but it's a spy camera.
Yeah, to feed out of
and he feeds it underneath the flap, and you see this little like worm thing poke out from under the flap, and he's watching the stairs that they just walked down to see if anyone is here.
So far, so good. You see the shiny black suit disappear as it hits the top in silhouette of the light and is gone. But you seem to be alone.
He looks to the Draconite man that's here, and he says, "Just excuse me 1 second. The last time we saw her was Hamura."
Ah, right. You don't know.
No.
What is going on?
We know that she's a clone. I know that the last time
what?
we saw her... Yeah, no, sorry, hold on. She's a clone. Last time we saw her was Hamura, meaning the last time we saw her was when she had one of her people stab Lamara. So XR, Coriolis, the Draconites we know, not her.
He puts up a hand to kind of quelch your concerns, and he says, "I imagine that you have a lot of questions. It seems."
Yes.
She
maybe
did
you're
try
new.
to kill me and also stab him and try to kill him and also tried to blow up our ship.
He holds up his hand. He says, "You must understand. The agent, as we call her, there are many of her, is used as a weapon by the Draconites. She's an agent, top of her class. We chose to invest, is my understanding, in cloning her so that she could be where we need her when we need her."
What did you do to my sister?
He kind of puts his hands up because I didn't do anything to her. She's been many for as long as I've been part of the Draconites, at least for the last decade.
Where
Tal
is the
holds up.
original?
Tal holds up her hand and says, "Look, I'm pretty sure that no one could clone your sister without her consent. I'm sure it's fine."
You actually physically see Alia like. Okay, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, he can see that you're struggling, and he puts a heavy but comforting hand on your shoulder, as long as you allow him. And he says, "I did not know that she had family. She always made it very clear that she was a bit of a lone ranger. If it means anything, the original is still out there, though we have lost many clones over the years."
I would. Okay. So she agreed to this?
Of course. She has worked for a very long time in our efforts, believing wholly in what it is that we do. She was a great information broker to start, and supposedly she only got better, especially when there were more of her. That
Are
being
they-
said, this agent has been with us for quite a while. She tends to make her way very easily in and out of the temple and has good information on the activity of the order, which comes in handy considering the fact that Zalos has been blockaded for a very long time.
I'd also like to mention, as much as she's caused us problems, she has also gotten us out of quite a bit of trouble. And the fact that she is everywhere has been beneficial, as much as I know you hate her, Malik.
It's
She's-
complicated.
Yeah, well, it is. But
He says, as much as I am interested in your family
Yeah.
politics, I must come back to this probe.
Yes.
His brow furrows in deep,
yes, the probe. We need to find where it is. Unfortunately,
what
when
probe?
there was supposedly a probe that went through before, when the Order of the Pariah was mistakenly attacking.
So they did send word they were coming.
They did, but somewhere along the line it got lost or redirected or something. We need to find that. If we can find that, then we can.
Well, he says we have enough parts here that I bet we could rig something to track it, but we're gonna need the identification codes for the probe to even know where it's at. Zalos is a very large system.
That's true. Do we have any access to order computers of any kind?
Not anymore. The most advanced technology will be in the temple, of course, but we have some options. And he kind of goes over and pulls a curtain back that maybe you thought it covered just a dense wall, but as he pulls it back, you can see that they've dug into the earth and they have kind of a station. It's like very makeshift. It's very low tech by certain standards, very much pieced together, but seems to be in good functioning order. It's running off some kind of battery or generator. He says, but we can sure try.
Well, if you can get us near the system, I'm sure my good friend Malik over here can get us inside.
He says, well, you're in Zalos now. They didn't tell you where the probe was. They just sent you here blind.
They didn't know where the probe was to begin with.
But they
It's
didn't give
missing
you,
that.
they did give you access codes.
Oh, they did? Okay.
They gave you like an identifier for the probe to run when you got here. But you just
My
didn't have enough
apologies.
power on the Defiant earlier to do it.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, then I will pull out that information and I guess hand it over.
Yeah, okay.
Or
yeah. Or one of you can run it. He doesn't seem to
Yeah.
have to be the one to do it. It's a pretty standard console, even if it is hand built.
Got it. Okay. So I hand it over to Malik. Hey, find this probe.
Do we have access to a computer, Dot?
Yeah, yes, he
Yeah,
has
Oh, sorry,
opened
I
up
missed-
console
I
in front
missed
of
that.
you.
You weren't paying attention.
No,
I know you had a
got-
bot come through. I saw that.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so he slides out. He looks at the data pad one more time to see if the little camera sees anything. And when it doesn't, he kind of retracts it, puts that in his bag, slides it in, and heads over to the terminals and begins clickety clacking away.
Okay. I'm gonna need a technology check.
Okay. A technology check. Okay.
Yeah, technology. Oh, actually, I'll take a data gen with a +1 because you have the codes. You don't have you know what you're looking for. You're just trying to find it. So make it a little easier on you.
2
But
successes.
I'm trying to also. Okay, great. You're just gonna have to wait a second though because I'm queuing something up. Sorry.
Fine. Do whatever you want to do.
I think this is it. Hang on. We're gonna hope this is it. Let's see if this is it. Did it? Okay. The system starts to run. Haha. And it begins boop boop. and it expands and expands. And each time it does, it takes over more and more of the city. And eventually, it stops and it pings a location as the temple comes into view on this kind of radar map that runs across the screen. It seems that the booping is centralized to the codes that were given to you somewhere inside the temple. Potentially, somebody else got their hands on it. And you know what? Just because I have them, and I'm going to use... I have so many darkness points. Though I did have to... Hang on. I have to use 4 darkness points to make this happen. Says the book. That's the book. And then I'm going to use 1 more darkness point, because I have 3 left then, to play a card. Boop. I'm going to play the ship. It seems to be as it kind of isolates in, and you let... It's like triangulation, right? You let it run and run and run, and it's got to ping the satellites, and eventually it triangulates down, and it shows you that it's somewhere inside the temple on the loading dock, the private loading docks, that somebody here is trying to leave with the probe that was supposed to make it. It is aboard a vessel. And that is where we have to end tonight. Because guess what? We are at time.
I don't want to.
Bullshit.
We are at time.
Okay. Rude.
Until
Rude
next week.
existence of
Malik.
time.
Don't forget to figure out whose vessel it is.
Yes,
And
I mean,
see
I
if
will.
You can
Usually
shut
I
it down
remember
before it goes. Yep, just saying.
It's on Samara's
down to
it's
2.
it's on Amara's vehicle.
2 darkness points. And I used our last corruption to reveal that our dear, dear Amara Samina person is a clone.
Love it. Love that. Okay, cool. Let's go around, do our introductions, get the hell out of here so we can do the after show. And if you guys want the after show, Patreon exclusive at the $5 tier, go over there right now. Get it, link down below. We'll start with Gnome. Gnome, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Hello, my name is Gnome. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok over at NomeDic. I do TTRPG things and TTRPG spaces. I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday, playing various games with these folks all the time, which I love. And again, feel like we needed to go a little longer. Just saying, a little playing with y'all. And didn't want it to end. It died. What the fuck? A clone?
I know, right? No one expected that one.
Y'all have been... I have known this for a very, very... Well, no, I'm going to save that for the after show.
Oh my gosh. That's it. I'm just shocked. I'm
Right.
done.
Everyone go fast so we can learn the tricks.
Yeah, go fast.
Aris, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Hi, I'm Eris Savad. Pronouns are she, her. I make things. I make things like dice trays and bags and all sorts of shit. You can find the shit that I make at erisavad.com. You can find me hanging out with Gnome and everybody else, really. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we have Gnome Brew in the morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, where we have coffee and talk shit. We'll probably be talking about this game tomorrow. Yeah. Other than that, you can find me here on Tuesdays, too.
Please incorporate "Hi, I'm Aris Savad. I talk shit and make shit" into somewhere. I don't care what business card. I don't care what
Media-
it is.
media
Whatever.
kit.
Yeah, media kit. I talk shit and make shit. You can find me at this website. Oh my god, that was perfect. That's perfect. I love that. KP, who are you? Where can we find you? And what are you up to?
Hello, everybody. I'm KP. I go by KP11 Studios on all your social medias, primarily on Twitter and Instagram. I am a photographer, a cosplay/portrait. I also get to play amazing games like this with amazing people like these fine folks all the time. You can find me, well, here on unMadeGaming twice a week. One today, as you've already seen, and also on now Tuesdays on our brand new show with most of these fine people as well, except for Dot, who hates us, and
Confirmed.
we get to play Tales from the Loop, and it's absolutely fantastic. We had our first episode just last week, or this week.
Yeah.
What am I saying? This Tuesday. So brand spanking new. very easy to catch up on because there's only one episode. And you get ready for next Tuesday. And I get to play a lovable big brother Jock who's very protective of his younger little brother who's down there in the little pink shirt, that cutie pie. It's absolutely fantastic. On top of that, I get to play in a campaign or in a game that I'll be a part of tomorrow, every Friday, where I get to kick Nazi butt with Dot over here. And it's absolutely fantastic. Go check that out. That's on True Press JP's channel, Academic Foxhole. There you go. Outside of that, anything else you want to know about me or what I'm up to, just follow me on Twitter. You'll know everything there.
Hell yeah. And last but not least, Dot, who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
Yes, friends, I'm Dot, Little Red Dot. I'm out here causing shenanigans all over the place, mostly with Kobold Press, which is where you can find me most of the time. And if I'm not there, you can find me on my podcast, Stitch Fate. I'm doing shit. Check it out.
Perfect. A lot of shit's getting done. Guys, if you want to support this channel, go check us over on Patreon. Link down below. While you're down there, join us over on the Discord. But for now, we will see you next week with more Void. So from all of us to you guys, bye-bye.